Okay, so in this video, I'll show you how to get started with Linux. Maybe you're interested in starting off as a software developer, a system admin, or for whatever reason you're interested in Linux, you're moving from Windows. Linux offers you a lot of possibilities, and so we'll just jump right into it. So if you're starting off and you're looking and you're wondering, what Linux distribution do I start with? I would definitely recommend either Linux Mint or Ubuntu. Either of these two will offer you a good starting point if you want to start off with Linux. It's very user friendly. Both of them have a lot of support online. So either of them is going to be a good choice for you. Prerequisites, of course, here we're assuming you have a laptop or a desktop. That's going to be very important. If you're not already running any Linux operating system on your desktop or your laptop, then you're going to need to download the ISO for either of them. You'll need a USB flash disk as well. So very important. So those would be the two things that you would need. Have your laptop handy and have a USB stick available. Then what you're going to need to do is to download the ISO. So it's very simple to download. You go to either of these websites, and then what you want to do is to download the latest version. So for the case of Linux Mint, so just go ahead and download the version that you have there. You have the choice of either going with the Cinnamon desktop, the XFCE edition, or the Mate or Mate edition. Okay, so you can read through if you want a sleek, modern, innovative desktop. It's basically just a flavor. Under the hood, it's the same. But if you want something sleek, modern, innovative, go with Cinnamon. If you want something that's going to be light, simple, efficient, won't take too much resources, maybe you have some old laptop, old desktop, you can go with that option. Or if you're into the classic traditional desktop environment using GNOME 2 or GNOME, then you can go with the Mate or Mate edition. So we just go ahead, download. Personally, I like Cinnamon, so I'll just go with that. Download that. Then what you're going to do is, the moment you've downloaded your ISO, it's always a good idea to verify that your ISO file hasn't been corrupted in the process, so that later on you don't get a problem when you want to install it. For Ubuntu, the same thing. The process is the same. You'll want to download either one of two editions, either the 24.04 LTS long-term support edition, which is supported for over 5 years or an extended 12 years, or the absolutely latest version, which is 25.04. So for Ubuntu, this corresponds with the year when it was released, 25.04, the month it was released. So this was released this year, 2025, in April, and this was released last year, 2024, in April. Usually Ubuntu releases 2 versions every year, 24.04, 24.10, 25.04, 25.10. So you can go ahead and download one of those 2 editions. The absolutely latest version is supported for 6 months until January 2026. So if you already have a good acquaintance with Linux and Ubuntu, and you really want the absolute latest version, you can go with the 25.04 Plucky Puffin. That's the code name for that version. Or you can go with the long-term support version. If you're totally new, you're going to need a lot of help online, maybe how to install, this software or that package. Going with the LTS version is a very good idea, because then what it means is that you'll get a lot of support online, a lot of tutorials and resources for how to maneuver in your new desktop environment. So definitely for anyone starting off with Linux, then I would recommend Ubuntu 24.0, 4.3, Noble Numbat, that's the code name. For Linux Mint, then you can simply just go with the latest version that is recommended and simply choose the flavor that you like. So let's assume that you have downloaded the file. So the way to download is you would just choose for Linux Mint, just download it from one of these mirrors here. So select either of these options, and then what will happen is that it will download the .iso file. That's the extension. I've already downloaded my version here. So what we are going to do is simply verify those two, and I'll show you how to verify your files in just a moment. And again, for Ubuntu, if you're downloading this, just go ahead and download that, and so, and then you'll be able to download your file here as well. Now, once you have your file downloaded, so I have my files downloaded here. If you're running Windows, your interface will be slightly different from mine. I'm already running Ubuntu, and I'm going to go ahead and just have my files here. Let me rename this to Linux Mint, and then I'll create a folder here, and this is where my Ubuntu ISO is. I'll drop this one here. Okay, so it will be important to have them in their own folder because there's additional files we'll need to download for each of them to be able to verify them. So we'll go ahead and begin. For Ubuntu, it's a little bit more straightforward. I'll show you how to go ahead and do it. Again, the instructions are available on their respective websites. For Ubuntu, the moment you click on the download button, then you'll get this option here to verify your download. That's where we want to go. And so you can see the option is here. So simply follow this command. Now, this is going to be a useful thing for you to learn if you're going to be getting onto Linux Mint. The way that you install software, the way that you do things will be a little different from Windows. In Windows, you simply download, double click, run, and you're good to go. But on Linux, it's a little different the way that they handle packages or softwares. And so as we go along, you'll get to learn how to do that. So step one, you've downloaded your ISO. Step two, let's verify the download. And this is how we'll verify it. So here we are given the instructions. Run this command in your terminal in the directory the ISO was downloaded to verify the SHA-256 sum. Okay. So the terminal is this here, Control-Alt-T, our terminal or the command line interface, CLI. And so this is where we're going to run the command for that. I'll show you how to do it step by step. If you're totally new, go to the folder where you've downloaded your Ubuntu. Then when you're inside that particular folder, go ahead and right click, and then you'll get the option of opening this in your terminal. So we open this in the terminal. What it will do is that it will open a terminal session straight where this file is. I'll run ls, and I can see my file is right there. Okay, Ubuntu 24, there it is. Then what you want to do is to go ahead and run this command. Okay, so just copy paste it nicely from echo all the way to the very last. Okay, and then I'll do Control C on my keyboard to copy, jump to my terminal, and then I'll do Control V or Control Shift V. Let me see, Control V doesn't work on the terminal, it's Control Shift V. So just remember that. Or the other thing that you can do is on the terminal, you can also still just right click and then paste. Okay, so either of those options will work. I usually find it useful to just get used to running the commands on your keyboard. So Control Shift V should work fine. Press enter. What it will do is that it will automatically check that the ISO file you have downloaded is authenticated. It wasn't corrupted in the process of downloading it. There wasn't any malware that was injected. You know, nothing got intercepted on the way. Just to be sure that the file you have is actually totally fine. So you can see it says that our file is okay. This is what it says. You should get the following output. Okay, and we know we are good. The same thing will happen if you download the 25.05. Then you can be able to simply just put it, run it, download it, run the command. You'll have the specific command for 25.05 here. So let's say 25.04. Sorry, if I say 25.05, 25.04, we'll just change it here. Then now, assuming we have downloaded the 25.04, okay, then we can go ahead and confirm. Same thing. Copy that command, Control C to copy, jump to your folder. Now I do have my ISO files already in my flash disk here, which is the next step. After you've downloaded, you need to put your ISO files in your flash disk, and I've already done that here, but you need to prepare it using Ventoy. We'll cover that in a different video. But once we've opened the terminal now here, where we have our Ubuntu again ls on the terminal, it lists out the files and folders that you have in that directory. Then we want to Control Shift V and check that our 25.04 ISO is okay. So it will run that. Then we'll do the same for Linux Mint and make sure that that file is also okay. As it does that on the terminal, we can go ahead and, so let's delete this. Let's go to our browser. The instructions for Linux Mint is a little bit more, still simple, but not as straightforward as Ubuntu. And we'll look at that. So what we'll need to do is go to, so whenever you, if you want to get to the verify page, a very useful thing would be to go ahead and download it, the file. Actually, any of these ones would work. Okay, let me go to this one at the very top. Let's use this. It's to download, so we can actually just save this and we'll cancel the download. And oh no, actually here it is, verify. So just verify it from here. Okay, so when you click to verify, it will give you instructions for how to do that. So the process is like this to be able to verify. If you are already running Linux Mint, that's the OS that you're on right now, then you can be able to verify it easily from this command, just like Ubuntu. But if you are not and you're running any other version of Linux Mint, any other version of Linux, then what you can do is that you can run this integrity check. So first of all, download these two files, the sha256sum.txt and the sha256sum.txt.gpg. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, to download both of them. So we will do that from here. You can see from the page where we're downloading it, integrity and authenticity. We will right click on this, then save this link as, then go ahead and drop it inside the folder where we have our Linux Mint ISO. Okay, so we're going to save the txt file and the gpg file. Save link as, and make sure that you save them as files. Okay, then the next thing that you're going to do is, once you've downloaded them, then you're going to run an integrity check. Okay, so to check the integrity of your local ISO file, generate its SHA-256-SUM and compare it with the sum that is present in this text. Okay, so basically you're going to generate this and you just run it by, let's copy this command. Again, we go to, you can open more than one terminal window. So we'll go to our file. We have our Linux Mint here. Our two files have been downloaded. So you have this SHA-256 text, which you have downloaded from the website, to be able to give you the authentication for whatever SHA-256 sum you generate from your ISO. So we'll open the terminal. Then we will run the command. So remember to change your ISO file from that to your actual ISO file, which is Linux Mint, and we'll just begin to type the wording and then press tab on the keyboard, and it automatically auto-completes for us, and we don't have to type out, the full name of the ISO file. Okay, then we run that. So it's going to go ahead and generate the SHA-256 sum for this ISO file, and we will compare it with, okay, there it is. It has generated it. I'll make it a little bigger. Okay. So it has generated the SHA-256 sum, which is like a digit to just, it's like a hash file to confirm that what you have downloaded is exactly the same as what we have here. Now, let's go back and see. So what they want us to do is then import. Okay. Okay, maybe let me just show you. Cat SHA-256 sum. Okay. So it actually, so you'll notice that the content of the file we had downloaded, this one here, Linux Mint, the cinnamon edition. If you check on this here, from C all the way to F, it's exactly the same as this one here. Okay, it's exactly the same. So now then what we are going to do is, and maybe just an easy way to be able to check, because somebody could say, are you sure it is the same? It's fine. What you'll do is, I'll say touch, I'll copy this. I'll copy this, the SHA that was generated from our ISO file. Then I'll create a file that is named that. Okay, so I have my file there. Then I will try and create another file as well with this, and it will actually tell me that that file has already been created. So I'll copy it. Let me make sure I copy it like that. Okay, and then I will create that file again. Touch, Control V, and then, oh, okay, it has created the file. No, it has overwritten the file. What you want to do is, let's remove that file. It is, you copy that sum, create the file, and then copy the other one that was now in the actual file, and then go to where those files are. You see the file here, and try and create another file. Okay, so like what is it? Yeah, exactly. So you try to create a folder. You can see that it says a file with that name already exists. If we just add one character at the end, let's say an underscore like that, we can actually create it because it is different. But if we remove it, it gives us an error. So that's how you confirm that those two are actually the same. Then there is still another authenticity check that we're going to run. So to verify the authenticity of the text file, we'll check the signature of the text.jpg file by following the steps below. Again, import the Linux Mint signing key. So simply copy this and run it in your terminal. Oh, okay. So the Ubuntu 25.04 image is also okay. Good stuff. So finally, we just finish with this particular file here. So we import the GPG key. We run that command. All right. So it has been imported. And then what is the next step? So it says, yeah, then we check that the key was properly imported. So we run that. Okay, good. So let's check. So it says that the output should contain this. Okay, and it should look like this, which is what we have here. Let's see them side by side. There. So you can see they are the same. And this here, 27DE all the way to this, should be the same as what we have here. 27DE B156 44C 6B3 CF 3B D7 D2 91300F 846 B 825 B AE09. Okay, or you can use the same check like what we did before. And then finally, we can go ahead and verify this. Running it here. There we go. So the output of the last command should tell you whether the file is good and that it was signed with this particular key. So there it is. So this signature made on this date, the keys there, good signature from Linux Mint, ISO, and so on and so forth. So here it says that the GPG might warn you that the Linux Mint signature is not trusted by your computer. This is expected and perfectly normal. This key is not certified with a trusted signature, then that one is totally fine. Okay, as long as it says that it's a good signature, then we're good to go here. Good signature. Okay, so we've downloaded our file, our ISO file. Okay, they are here, both for Ubuntu and for Linux Mint. Then the next thing that you need to do is to move these ISO files to your file, your flash disk. Okay, so I'll open this in a new window. I already have my flash disk prepared. You need to have it well, prepared. So one of the interesting things with using Ventoy is that you can be able to have multiple ISOs in one. And I'll actually just go ahead and drop my Linux Mint. You can see I already have my Ubuntu 24.04 there, the Ubuntu 25.04, and I have a Windows 11 ISO as well, meaning that I have prepared this flash disk using the Ventoy software. And all I need to now do is to just move files inside this particular folder. So I'll drop this file here. Okay. So in addition to my Ubuntu and Windows 11 ISO, now I'm going to have my Linux Mint ISO available. And what that means now is that you can go ahead and you have your laptop. Of course, you have to get another laptop to be able to do this process with. You can use it. You can use a Windows or a Linux laptop or desktop to do this. Then once you have your USB file prepared, then you can go ahead and install it on your laptop, now your primary laptop, the one that you're going to use to get set up on. So that's the procedure. And from there, then you would be good to go. Maybe just to wrap it up in terms of the process this far, let me show you where you would go to get help in terms of preparing that particular file. So this, yeah. So this, you can just go ahead and Google this particular page, Ventoy and Ubuntu. So this page can help you to prepare your flash disk to be able to now actually put in different ISOs and then install. So go ahead and check out this particular link, and you can have a look at the process for setting up your flash disk. So it will guide you on how to install Ventoy, how to create a live Linux USB, how to boot from it, how to use multiple Linux distros on a single USB, and so on and so forth, and then you should be good. There probably are additional tutorials you might find for this. This is just one of them. So feel free to try out and have yourself set up. Okay, so I'm going to complete this process and then I'll install it on my own laptop, and then I'll be able to guide you on how to get set up once you have it installed. Okay, all right, all the best until the next one. See you later.